Snow, ice, and frigid temperatures caused numerous delays and closings these past few months. Needless to say, a normal week was hard to come by. But despite winter's worst, there was still plenty going on in the halls of Lenape High School. With a much-needed spring ready to arrive, we are here to report on the winter that was here at Lenape. It's all right here on the Winter 2014 edition of Tribal News, which starts right now.
Welcome to Lenape Tribal News. I'm Lauren Clements alongside Jack Watson. Since our last episode, students and staff have been busy planning events, raising money for charity, and just enjoying school life.
And Lauren, with all the snow days and delayed openings this year, it felt like we were barely in school these past few months. There is plenty that happened, though. What do you have to start us off, Lauren?
Well, Jack, a single event brought together an entire community to make a difference in the lives of children. A book drive was held in February to honor a fallen member of our Lenape family. Let's send it to Erin Sawadzki with more information on this story.
It is amazing to see how a single event can bring together a school of 2,000 students. A book drive was held in honor of Ibo Eberling, a student who passed away after his battle with cancer, and together the school worked towards a common goal. Ibo Eberling was a strong and inspiring young man who fought valiantly against cancer. When the Lenape family lost him, the school came together and became one. He was the embodiment of strength and courage. His story is one to be remembered and cherished. That is why a book drive was held in his honor. Stories have great importance in the development of young children. The books raised were donated to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, the same hospital that Ibo fought at. The book drive at Lenape was sponsored by the Reach Out and Read program. The Reach Out and Read program reaches a child through effectively teaching the parent to start lifelong learning in the home. The program has collected over 4.1 billion books and has affected the lives and learning development of millions of children nationwide. Lenape set the goal of 2,400 books to correlate with Ibo's hockey number 24.
Hello, I'm Melissa Cheeseman reporting for Tribal News. Every year during the holiday season, the Interact Club is responsible for providing a holiday feast for the families of the Mount Laurel community. The event's called Project Thanksgiving, and the club members are responsible for everything from the planning and organization to serving the families themselves. The Interact Club, advised by Mr. Porco, is directly affiliated with the Mount Laurel Rotary. Student members are responsible for many service projects over the course of the year. One of Interact's most important projects is Project Thanksgiving. Mr. Porco is responsible for the organization of this wonderful event.
When I first took over Interact a few years back, the first thing we did was we had a meeting to determine what kind of projects we were going to try and accomplish first semester. One of the ideas that was mentioned was hosting a Thanksgiving dinner for families needed around the Mount Laurel community. We thought it was a great idea. We had students cooking the food, serving the food. And with the assistance of the Rotary, it turned out to be a great night. The project has been successful, one part because of planning. Interact students know that when we plan this event, people are specialized in what their responsibilities are. And by specializing, people concentrate on one thing and it makes the project run a lot easier. In addition to that, the planning aspect, the students who are involved are very dedicated. And when they, help out, whether it be making decorations, serving the food, helping clean up, cooking. I know they're giving 100% effort, so I think it really comes down to the planning and the students.
Students could sign up to volunteer and help with the planning of a dinner for families in the community to come and eat for free. Food for the dinner was acquired through donations from the school's holiday food drive, and some was also purchased by club members and Mr. Porco. In previous years, the food was cooked at the school, but out of convenience, everything was cooked by the students at home this year. Members of the club were responsible for setting up, cooking, serving, and cleaning up the food. Service hours were rewarded to those who chose to participate.
The Couples Game is an annual Valentine's Day tradition that is held again this year. The game show is a fun way to bring the school family together. Manny DeLessio explains why it is a big part of Lenape life.
Out of all the annual events here at Lenape, the Couples Games is by far one of the most anticipated. The Couples Games is based off the TV show The Dating Game that brings out the playfulness of Lenape. The couples games are hosted by Mr. Tom Tamburello. He is a math teacher here at Lenape High School and has hosted other events such as Lenape Idol.
Well, before the couples game, we used to do a fundraiser called the dating game, which is where you would have like some people on stage that were single and people off stage, and it was kind of like this matchmaking game. But then we changed it back in 2004, 2005, sometime around then, to make it more like the newlywed game, which is on TV currently. Hardest part of putting the couples game together, I would say it's probably writing the questions. We have to make sure that the questions are obviously appropriate for school, are not going to be too personal, or questions that the students are going to be willing to answer. And we want to make it fun, though, too. We don't want them to be too hard or too easy. So writing the questions is hard. It's also hard to pick couples. We had a lot of couples this year that wanted to be in it, and we actually had to make cuts, so it's getting pretty popular.
There are questions asked along the lines of how many shoes do you and your partner have collectively, and how many previous relationships has your partner been in. Whatever couple gets the most questions right wins the entire game. Not only students can compete in the couples games, but Mr. Joe Archibald was a contestant of this year's couples games. He partnered with his fiancée to represent the faculty side of Lenape and had lots of fun doing it.
My significant other, Bonnie, is she gets very nervous and kind of skittish around crowds, and it was a way for her to come out of her shell a little bit and practice being in front of a big audience of people. It's just having the opportunity to have my students and my coworkers and staff here see what kind of person would actually marry me, just to bring her in and introduce her to people. It was good to have them meet her for the first time.
This annual event took place on February 12, 2014. Some students that took a part of this game show was Mike Harris and Devin Geyer, Lindsay Wood and Craig Cassidy, and Levi Gervasi and Jessica Goldstein. Everyone has a chance to partake in the couples games, either as a member of the audience or as a contestant. The couples games helps Lenape come together as a family. Reporting from Tribal News, I'm Erin D'Alessio, and back to the studio.
Allie Wesley made a major impact on the team in her short tenure, and she possessed great leadership skills. Despite breaking both of her legs before the season, she managed to come back stronger and with more drive.
Coming back was really hard because I thought I'd be able to do everything that I could do before, but I couldn't, and that was really stressful for me. So I had to keep working, and work really hard, stay after to do extra conditioning and stuff to get everything back.
Marissa Tosi was a great team captain and role model to her fellow gymnasts. However, she had sustained injuries that had set her back and prevented her from participating in state competitions. Despite this, she was always there to support and cheer on her team.
Marissa, since the day she's come here, has been exemplary as a leader, as a gymnast. She has, the first year she ended up having an injury at sectionals, so she didn't go very far there. But since that time, for the last 2 years, she was the South Jersey Gymnast of the Year. She had made All-State. She's just an intense competitor.
Despite the daunting setbacks in the beginning, the team has managed to pull through with a strong, successful season. I'd like to thank Coach McManus, Allie Wesley, and the whole team for their input. For Tribal News, I'm Erin Sawadzki. Now back to the studio.
And that is all for this fall edition of Lenape Tribal News. We would like to know all of the hard work that students in Communication Technology 2 classes have put in for this production.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you'll tune in next time as we cover all the winter happenings here at Lenape High School. For Lauren Clements and the generous contributions of everyone here in Studio ND27 at Lenape High School, I'm Jack Watson.